I definitely don't miss exams. I mean, I guess there's stuff like later in life, or like for me, yeah, after school there was got hired at Pixar. I guess there's stressful stuff there too. Like any job has like stressful things like presentations or whatever that you have to like kind of work towards. It's sort of similar to exams, but I feel like in a way less stressful. Oh wow, that sounds like a lot of facts. I feel like I don't know that many movies. Back when I was at Pixar, I would get teased a lot. Our little like lunch group, they'd always tease me that I didn't watch enough movies because that was always a topic of discussion. People would be like talking about, "Oh, did you see this movie? Like, I like how they did this, or this worked well, or this didn't work well." And I was like, "What?" I feel that way a little bit now. Now that I'm working in games instead of movies, I feel like I should be playing more games, like a different variety of games. But anytime I have free time, I'm always just like, I just want to code and work on my goofy little game or whatever. So, eh. But yeah, has anyone seen any good movies? Speaking of that topic, howdy, howdy. Oh yeah, I heard I still need to see that. I saw the first Spider Verse. I heard this one was really good. So I've been totally slacking on movies. See, I'm still just like I used to be. Cool. So yeah, I should try to catch that in theaters. Cool, nice. Yeah, I mean the huge thing with the first one was just like how new feeling the visuals were and everything. Just like the whole style of it. It was just so different, or so yeah, it just felt way different than average animated movie. Yeah, there's a few others. I'm trying to think. Yeah, like I said, I'm slacking on keeping track of movies, but there's a few others coming out. I should check out too. Yeah, I heard good things about Puss in Boots also, which yeah, I haven't seen that one, but yeah, Pixar had I'm not gonna say they suck, but Pixar was definitely not having good luck with Elemental. Came out a few weeks ago. Did not make a ton, though. Apparently, it's doing a little bit better. Like it has like legs, as they say. So I know it was one of their like lowest openings. I was talking to some of my friends there, and they were all, of course, very sad. Um, but yeah, apparently it's not a terrible movie. A lot of people like it. It's just like people haven't gone to see it. Yeah. I've been gone for a while though. Like my last movie was Monsters University, so that's been a while now. It was like 10 years ago. And they've had some really good stuff since then, like Inside Out and uh, yeah, I feel like they had like Coco was really good. They've had a lot of good movies in the last 10 years. It's just they've had a few misfires in terms of box office and whatnot. So hopefully they don't have too many layoffs, or there's not too much downside to that, or they get back on track or whatever. Disney also, they had their last one was kind of a misfire, but yeah, Disney and Pixar, they've just not had the best luck with their last few animated movies. Strange World, that was the last Disney one, right? Did anyone see that? I heard it was like kind of eh. Okay. The character style, like looking at the style of it, it looked kind of just like off-putting or something. Like their eyes, they have that weird like 1920s animation style. It just looks kind of like old-fashioned, or I don't know. It's just like this weird like, what's going on there? But I shouldn't. I always feel bad. Like I shouldn't judge movies I haven't seen. So yeah. Yeah, that's always. I mean, that's part of why I'm very impressed with like Spider Verse and whatnot. They had like this very consistent, unique, stylized look that was throughout the entire movie. I know, back when I was working on that type of stuff, there was like that seemed to be a hard thing to do. Like for Pixar, there's a ton of people working on the movies, and just like having everyone stick to a particular style or do something different than they're used to doing. Like that's a hard thing. Um, it's and for me, it's like I always when I was working on effects and things like that, like I naturally would want to try to make them look like realistic because that's cool. I want to make an explosion that looks like a real explosion. But it's hard to try to push yourself or have someone else push you to try to make it look stylized or look like a drawing or a cartoon or something like that. So so I can understand how it's kind of a natural thing for like you're talking about with like Strange World to have very stylized characters, but then like the environments look super realistic. I feel like that's just kind of a natural thing that happens with CG sometimes. Which goes into another topic is like I feel like that's something I sort of learned over time a little bit is when I was growing up I was thinking that like art and artistry is all about just like oh if you can draw realistic or if you can paint realistic stuff you spend I feel like I always see things on Reddit where it's like people post things they've done like oh look I spent 45 hours drawing this like hyper realistic drawing of which basically recreates a photo or whatever. And I feel like I used to think that was like the most awesome thing ever, and it's still very impressive. But I feel like as time went on, I kind of learned that the most impressive stuff to me is like when you simplify or make things like Spider Verse does. It's kind of like it's taking stuff and boiling it down into simpler lines or kind of caricatures or stylizations. Like it's not all about like realism. It's about yeah, kind of whatever it is our brains do to make simplified art or make that stylized kind of looks. But even like I don't know, in my experience, like even going to art school, like hyper realism isn't like I feel like they like I went to art school and I feel like in a way they kind of beat that out of you. Or I mean, there's certain people like that's what they want to focus on is like if you're being like a painter, or, there's certain people that are just like focused on doing realistic drawings or paintings or whatever. But I feel like a lot of what they try to teach you is how to kind of boil that down into something simpler. So in a way, that's what I was trying to do with Bomb Squad. Is just I know it's kind of realistic, but in like a photographic, you know, I wouldn't like the. I wasn't going for having super realistic, detailed environments or whatever. It's more just like, hey, slap some clay and blocks down and try to accurately capture that. But it's like I don't. It doesn't matter if it's super detailed and super realistic or whatever. It's supposed to be kind of a stylization. Oh, nothing wrong with cartoonish art styles. And I think I've mentioned this before with Bomb Squad too, like the realism part, like doing everything with photos. It was it was kind of for two reasons. One is because I like stop motion and claymation and stuff like that. Nightmare Before Christmas and all those cool like stop motion animated movies. Um, but the second one was just to save time, is because I was doing all the stuff myself and I didn't have time to spend a lot of time modeling and painting, detailing. Levels and characters and things like that and making them look good. So it seemed like kind of a fun little hack or a cheat is to just like slap them together on a table using real stuff and then just photograph them and convert them into 3D. Though the converting them into 3D part, as I'm sure many of you have who have tried to make maps have noticed, is not especially easy. So, it didn't always save time, but it was fun. And I'd still love to, look into like 3D scanning tech and, as all that stuff is becoming kind of more accessible, making that part easier. Because it would be super awesome to just be able to like make a tabletop, build a level on your kitchen counter with blocks and wave a magic wand over that and have that appear in the game, and you can like run around and play on it perfectly. I know that's a very difficult problem, but that'd be great if we could get there. And yeah, I kind of on that topic, wooden block maps. I do kind of like wooden block maps more than clay maps after kind of having made both. Um, I think there's something nice about the wooden blocks. You can kind of just tell what you're getting, It's a little bit more clear, like, oh, this is a flat plane, and oh, this goes up a step, or this is a ramp. Um, with clay, it can be a little bit just like wishy-washy and like, kind of hard to control. Or, I mean, the whole game is kind of hard to control with the physics and stuff, but even more so, I feel like it's a little bit more clear what you're getting with blocks. But to each their own. Everyone has. I mean, you could like it is possible to design a clay map that is clean. And yeah, clay looks kind of cool, but um, there's one I'm forgetting the name right now, the castle map, where I posted something on my blog where like the original version of it is a clay, and it was super like lumpy and bumpy and kind of smooth and rounded and lots of going on. And like as I was actually converting it into 3D and like building the map out of it, I wound up just like cheating it and flattening it and simplifying it and trying to like make it more yeah, just more controllable and less random bumpy. So that kind of goes into that same topic. Yeah, Doom Shroom, yeah, with all the bumps and stuff, it's a bit of a bummer because yeah, like trying to like run fast, it like slows you down as you're going over things. I don't know. Maybe some of that we could fix with the physics. I don't know, making like the run physics handle the terrain better or something. Um, but yeah, it's like stuff like that looks cool. Like I like how Doom Shroom looks. It's like a neat, a neat aesthetic. But yeah, it's the darn bumps and angles and things. Arr. 1.8 starting when? All week I've been working on basically 1.8. So what I've been working on it's kind of a handful of things, really. I'm trying to just get back into slightly server mode. 1.720 is kind of in bug fix mode. I'm sure I'll be putting out a bug fix update or two, in the next week or two, or as as bugs get fixed and things like that. Um, but I'm trying to like shift gears into kind of like the big server side things for 1.8. So, the one kind of, well, the biggest one is asset packages. So I've been kind of starting up on asset packages again. So, I mean, there's still nothing to see here yet, but it will be in here under asset packages. Though actually the way that I'm working with it, which is probably maybe how you will all have to work with it too initially, before I get the web UI going, is through BA Cloud. So if you're not familiar with BA Cloud is a little command line app that is here. Let me kill this and get the public repo. Local docs, Ballistica. Burp, burp, burp. Okay. So yeah, BA Cloud is under Tools, BA Cloud. So normally, if you go into your little Ballistica repo, you can do Tools, BA Cloud, and then this is just basically a command line app that talks to my cloud server stuff. So you will be able to use this to create asset packs. Tools, BA Cloud, asset pack. Let's see if this works. I think this works only for me. Oh no. Oh, what am I doing? Jeez. Tools, BA Cloud, space, asset pack. Not yet available. Oh no. Oh, I have to sign in. Tools, BA Cloud, sign in. Efro, yes, that's me. To sign into BA Cloud to access your account, it's just the same as signing into the game. It'll kick you over to a web browser or whatever. And now if I do BA Cloud Asset Pack, haha! So see, I have all this like asset pack related stuff. So I can do like BA Cloud Asset Pack put, and then I think I have one in Documents A. So this will like attempt to do something. Let's see what this does. It's totally broken right now, so we'll just see some broken stuff happen. Okay, we're uploading a cube map and some data, and then fix me, blah 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 blah. Okay. So we got it, it made it to my fix me statement. So that's what I'm currently working on. But anyway, this will be kind of a quick way you can work with asset packs is like you'll just build these little things. You can either work through the web UI or like I said, to start with, you'll probably work here where you create this little, I think I showed this last week, you know, just, be like a handful of little files laid out here. So the asset package.yaml, this just like, this is what's in the asset package. These are the different assets. These are the textures. These are the sounds. And then you'll just go down here and do asset pack push or put, and it'll just kind of like keep the cloud updated with what's in your asset pack. So I want to make it like really fast to work with. So you can just like, oh, I'm going to change this texture and then run asset pack put. And it'll only like upload the texture that's changed and stuff like that. So I want it to be like really fast to iterate on because I want to use it for all my stuff. So I want to like dog food it, as they say. But so this will be like the fastest way to work. The web UI will probably, hopefully do all the same stuff, but it'll probably be a little slower. It'll be like drag a image into the web view or whatever, you know, we'll see how that works. Or, you know, select an image you want to upload to make a texture out of it. But yeah, this will be like the ultra pro way. All right. Anyway, after that demo, what have I missed here? I think Bomb Squad is like imagining your toys fighting each other. Exactly. That's like what I was going for. It's just like this kind of feeling of like making little play sets and fighting with your toys and blowing each other up. More audio music control for 1.8, please. That would be good. I would love to revisit the audio system. I don't know if I will have time for 1.8. If someone else wants to like play with it, feel free. We could start getting something going. I feel like audio is just one of those things that's, like I said, it's not a high priority. It like works well enough for now, so I'll probably have to leave it until 2.0 or something. But as I said, if you wanna start, you know, tinkering with the open source stuff, I'm happy to give tips. API 8 messed up all my mods. Yes, I'm sure it messed, well, I mean, it broke everyone's mods because literally every mod needs to be updated for API 8 just to say like, hey, this works. I mean, probably, I can't imagine a mod not needing like code changes aside from the API bump, just because all of the, you know, like literally all the Python packages changed. So unless, I mean, you could probably make like a support like BA package that just pretends to be the old BA package but translates everything. So like, yeah, theoretically, it would be possible to maybe get old mods working without having to bump the API version, or without having to like, you know, change their code. But I kind of feel like stuff like that seems fragile, like having, you know, like this kind of translation layer package. So I'm hoping again, I apologize to make everyone do some work, but I'm hoping that this layout will be pretty stable going forward. So once you get your stuff working with the new, you know, all the new packages, hopefully those packages will stay working. Put message to local workspace. Yeah, this might be something I can address soon since I'm in there working on workspaces stuff. So yeah, hopefully keep reminding me, but I am in the workspace code now. So this would be a good time for me to add something like that. Let me close that out. There are, I think I mentioned this before, but if you're using the workspace editor, the one recent change is there's now this little extra doodad menu here, which only currently has editor commands, but this is kind of neat. It gives you like all the commands that are built into it's called Ace text editor that I'm using for this. If you ever want to Ace text editor, it's this little guy here. But it has a bunch of like options and various things over here. You can kind of play with it. And so we can actually get at most of those now. So it can be a bit hacky, but if you come to here, do editor commands, and then one of them is show settings menu. So you can see here's all the little Ace options. So you can kind of mess with, if you want a different theme, you can switch to various different themes. If there's anything in here that's like super cool and you want to like have access to it easier, we could have it like remember the theme that you switched to or something like that. Or there's different options we could do here. Or different things with like, I don't know, keyboard shortcuts or something. If there's any like useful tweaks we could make to the editor, please let me know. But yeah, so there will be more stuff coming here soon under workspaces. Like I think I mentioned I'm going to be adding like type checking and stuff like that, or just being able to kind of run stuff from here. I'd love to make it to where you can edit like a game type in your workspace and then come up to here and hear like play or something, and it'll just like launch a cloud server, and then you can play with that game code once we get the cloud sandboxes working and stuff like that. So definitely fun stuff coming in this area though. Character have his own histories. I know we've touched on this before. These characters have their own histories. They don't officially now. That could be something interesting to add, but I also kind of like not having histories for them. I mentioned like Nintendo makes I read this statement by Nintendo that their characters they kind of consider like Mario and Bowser and all those to be almost like actors. It's they're people that appear in their different games doing in different roles, but they're not, they don't necessarily have histories, or I mean, I guess they kind of do in that case, but they can have different relationships. It's like Bowser might be stealing the princess or whatever one day, but then the next day he's, just racing against Mario, driving around a track. They're having fun, so it's almost like they're playing these different roles. So I kind of see like Bomb Squad's characters being similar to that. It's like there's not a single storyline that they're all involved in at all times. They're almost just like different actors involved in different stories, and it's up to you guys to make up whatever stories you want. That being said, I mean, yeah, we could, I don't know, come up with different plots or something like that, like a particular style, like some RPG-ish version of the game or something where everyone has their own backstory. But again, that would almost just be like taking those actors and putting them into one storyline. After Bomb Squad 2.0, are you going to take a break? I don't plan on it. I'm really approaching Bomb Squad as like this is not like a game project. This is just like my thing I do for fun. I mean, 2.0 will be great to get there. I feel terrible about always answering the iOS people when they're asking when it's going to be released, or the Steam people, or the console people. Like, it'll be great to have it out on those platforms. But yeah, everything I'm doing for the game, I'm trying to do it thinking about like, okay, what's going to be something that I could use 10 years from now or something. I'd love to just kind of keep building on top of this stuff. So I don't have any plans to like be done with Bomb Squad or Ballistica or anything like that. That's part of the reason for like even renaming the engine to Ballistica and like splitting things out is so, that's why like looking at all these different packages, like BA Scene V1, this is basically Bomb Squad gameplay. If you take that out, there's, all this stuff. Like Classic is sort of Bomb Squad related, but yeah, like BA Base is largely generic at this point. You can make kind of a different type of game on top of that. So, there's stuff I want to experiment with. Or take BA Scene V2 and like, have some different options there, or make an entire different like scene feature set just for doing different types of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm kind of considering it, go back to the idea of like a play set or like a bunch of toys that you're playing with. Like that's kind of what it is for me. This is like a bunch of toys that we're playing with. But yeah, YBS isn't available on iOS. That's the plan. Is 2.0 will be the relaunch for um, iOS and Steam. That's currently the plan. 1.8 will be finishing asset packages, and I'm hoping to have kind of a first pass on like the squad system. That's sort of what I'm working with now, with getting back into the cloud stuff and the server stuff. Um, and then 1.9 will be basically just kind of polish and getting squads mode kind of fully ready to go. And then 2.0 will be launching on iOS and Steam, and then theoretically switching squads mode to be kind of the front and center, like the default play mode. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it's like basic. They have Clash of Clans has like, yeah, I guess we could have something like that, just like a very vague description of like the character, like their personality or something like that. So yeah, I'm hopefully this won't be too much of a dry spell coming up. Like I said, I'm working on largely cloud stuff. Um, Hopefully with asset there will be maybe some like early versions of asset packages I can show you all, or that people can start playing with soonish. Oh no, Pascal. No, Pascal's happy. He's not mad. Or I don't know. Maybe he's mad. Let's see. Oh shoot. Is Pascal mad? Are those angry penguin noises? I don't know. This changes everything. That's true. Yeah. Nice penguins don't go around slapping everyone. Well, howdy. I'm doing good. How are you? Can't think of a name. Oh yeah, Baby Pascal. Of course. Yeah, he'll be like a baby Yoda type character. He's just like zen and cool, and everything's chill with Baby Pascal. So yeah, one other. So I've been doing a decent amount of just like planning this week. I find that, yeah, like spending a bit of time planning, like, over time I've learned that doing that just kind of saves me some pain. It used to be more like when I'd code something, I would just like sit down and start coding and just make it work as fast as possible and not even like think about this the design of it. But then I'd always find that I'd make something real fast. It would work, but like not well, or it'd be kind of a crappy design, and then I'd realize like what the good design would have been, and so then I'd rewrite it, and the second time it was always like, okay, that's pretty decent. Um, so I'm learning by if I spend a little bit more time kind of just thinking about it first, I can skip some of that first part of like having to completely rewrite it to do things right. So I've been, yeah, working on design stuff a bit this week in terms of basically like squads mode and like workspaces, squads mode, and asset packages, and how that will all like work together. Bear from Moscow, always short, angry guy. Yeah, I guess everyone has like their basic personality trait. Kronk is kind of angry. I do like the like bear with Russian hat look. That's cool. We should maybe give like Bernard some different options instead of just a tie. All the characters have ties. It's too formal. We need to need to change it up a bit. Angry Buff likes potatoes. Yeah, Jack Morgan. His character traits would be like pirate. I don't know. I feel like yeah. Does he have any traits where he differs from like a standard stereotypical pilot or pirate? Sorry. Sneaky, likes to fall off cliffs. Slim. Oh yeah, we could give Bones a backstory. I feel like he's just like an animated skeleton. He's got to have some sort of backstory. Santa is Santa. But what's Santa doing there? Like, why is he fighting everyone? Like, what happened? Did someone steal his presents? Bones is the corpse of Snake Shadow. Everyone was not. Oh, okay. This is what happens when you're naughty. That's what Santa is here for. Santa will come and just kick your ass. Learning so much about the characters today. This is great. How to bullet point. Oh yeah, didn't Discord got like markdown support lately, right? Or something like that? So, oh yeah. Those are some nice bullet points. Steals money to buy new carrots. Hates fire. His one weakness. Yeah, something like that would be interesting. Like just as a mini game, having you select from a handful of characters, and each one has like a strength and a weakness. Like Frosty would be super weak against like fire if we had like fire weapons or something. Like that would just be fun. Like a weird like chick or rock paper scissors, kind of mechanic, or like a certain shield that only blocks against one type of bomb really well or something like that. Poke Squad. Mother used to be. Eats sticky bombs. I love to see like where Mel has gone. He's just he was just like crazy chef character. Now he has like all these like nicknames and backstories. PTSD. Yeah, just pure. You can tell by that laugh. He does sound pure evil. Yeah, there's no redeeming Mel. Yeah, I feel like a lot of evil characters they have like some little redeeming quality or something, or something like yeah they're evil, but it's just because they had like a bad experience as a child or something. But deep down they're still good, or there's part of good. But you don't with Mel's laugh like you just know that's not true. He's just pure evil. Which mod pack is my favorite? Oh man, I feel like I shouldn't say. I feel like a parent. Like as a parent, not that I'm a parent, but as a parent, you're never supposed to like tell or play favorites with your children or tell one that they're your favorite or something like that. So I feel like a response. In a way, I feel like an adult or yeah, a parent who shouldn't be. Even if I had a favorite mod pack, I shouldn't be saying. Speaking of that, has anyone not trying to push anyone at all? Like I said, if y'all want to hold off, it's probably makes sense. But has anyone had any luck updating any mods, either large or small, for the 1.720 updates? Corrosion proof software corrupted. On that topic, there was a question that came up in general chat a few days ago of like basically saying like which of these Python APIs do I use? Because there's like BA base, there's BA Scene v1, BA UI v1, and they all contain very similar things. So I'll just cover that real quick. Um, and basically, they kind of do. Like, if you're like the point of having like the BA Scene v1 Python package was just kind of like this is a full set of stuff that you would need to mod the game, including like general utility bits. So if you were to come and take a look in here, you can see this actually pulls in a lot of stuff from like the BA base package. And then it pulls in various stuff from all these other various places, like mostly under itself. But if you take a look at, what it contains, there's a whole heck of a lot of overlap with BA base, BA Scene v1, and BA UI v1. So, if you want to access like the app itself, like the app instance, you can do like BA base.app, or you can do BA UI v1.app, or BA Scene v1.app. And like I said, the main point is like if you're doing gameplay modding, if you're writing a custom mini game or something, then pretty much everything you need should be in BA Scene v1. So anything, if you even want to like tweak the app or just utility stuff, use everything from BA Scene v1. Likewise, if you're just writing a window, a UI or something like that, then most everything you need should be in BA UI v1. And a lot of this stuff, as I mentioned, it's the same stuff that you'll find in BA base. Again, as you can see, like it pulls in a lot of stuff from BA base, like app time, display time, fade screen, like all this stuff it's pulling in from BA base itself. So you could use them directly in BA base, but in general, you shouldn't need to import BA base yourself. BA base is just like a big pile of stuff that's getting used by these individual other APIs, like the Scene API and the UI API. It's just like a big like shared pile of junk. So I would expect, so if you can write mods and basically target like one of these, if you can use BA Scene v1 and get all your work done using that, like that will probably be the best way to go. I'm expecting BA base might change over time because, like I said, it's like a big shared pile of junk that all the other APIs use. So if you're using stuff out of BA base directly, like you may have to update stuff later. That it's more likely that maybe things will break. But if you're just using like BA Scene v1, like that API should remain basically stable. So even if BA Scene v2 comes along, your old stuff that uses BA Scene v1, it should continue working because I'll try to make sure that the individual APIs like BA Scene v1 and BA UI v1, like those stay consistent. So even if something that it's using, maybe I'll take that out of BA base at some point and put it under Scene v1, or I'll reorganize things. But I'll try to keep these APIs from changing, like BA Scene v1, BA UI v1, etc. So I hope that makes sense. Sorry, you're all still talking about characters, and I'm going on this weird little API rant. Not rant, but deep dive. Aw. BA Plus, you should never need to really care about. BA Plus, this is like internal stuff for, like accounts and talking to the master server and the cloud stuff and all that. So really, yeah, BA Plus, you can basically ignore BA Plus. Sort of BA Classic also. BA Classic is basically stuff to keep original Bomb Squad working. But new stuff, new code generally shouldn't be using BA Classic. I mean, you can, but maybe that's more a rule for me. Like, I don't want to be using BA Classic stuff going forward. It's more just like stuff that I want to make cleaner, modern, more modern ways to do the stuff in there. Oh, cool. What is this? Port 728. Oh, nice, nice. Okay. So it does some of the boring stuff for you. I know like when going from Python 2 to 3, there was similar stuff, just like little commands you could run like 2 to 3. I forgot what it was, but it would kind of go through and change some of your code to give you a little head start. But yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, replacing API 7 with API 8. This thing, yeah, this unfortunately has to change. BA meta export game. The reason for this is because going forward, there will be, multiple scene versions. So there will be a BA scene v1.game, which may be very different from like a BA scene v2 dot game or .2 dot activity or whatever. So now we have to just say, we have to tell like the meta system exactly what's there. So like, oh, there's a scene v1 dot game activity, which is way uglier to write than just game, but it's kind of, one of those technically necessary things. We could have done like game 1, game 2, things like that, but then that's a little cryptic also. It's like which corresponds to which. So we're just basically, you're just telling the meta scan thing exactly what you have in your script. And the whole reason, if you don't know, this whole BA meta thing, it's basically just a way to just like tell the engine that like, hey engine, there's this Python script here and it contains a game object, or it contains a keyboard object, or a plugin object. It's kind of a way to just get the engine's attention. Like, hey engine, try to load this plugin with this name, because the engine will like scan through everything in the mods directory and it looks for those BA meta. They're just comments. They're just Python comments, you can see. But it just looks for those to like give the engine hints on like, oh, okay, I bet there's a plugin in here, or I bet there's a game in here. So that's all the BA meta stuff is. Cool. All right, yeah, that's a good little set of stuff. Very cool. Add to the game the joystick, a Bomb Squad remote. What do you mean by the joystick? The just like the behavior of it, or what about it? Yeah, it should be the same textures and things. I know it's different code because the remote apps are, they're just written in like the native APIs for iOS or Android. They should have the same texture though, don't they? Or do they not? I'm trying to remember. It moves like in PC. Oh, right. Yeah, duh. Yeah, on the game. Right. It's like that transparent one too. Okay. Hmm. But you're talking about like the behavior of it, right? It moves like a PC. So you're saying just like the way the joystick reacts? I was thinking about that when I was doing that a second ago. I was like, oh my gosh, someone's going to screen capture this. That's not why I did it. I came to that realization after. I'm so aware of that now. Like if I make a goofy face, I'm just like, oh geez, this is going to come back. I'll be seeing this next week. If you release Bomb Squad on the Quest 2 and other quests, do you think you'd add voice chat? That's a good question. Well, also on the Quest, like I was playing, like I'm curious. I haven't played too many Quest games lately. I'm always a big fan of the mini golf. What's it called? The mini golf game on there. But yeah, I'd meet my friends and we'd play some mini golf. Originally, we'd always do the thing where like you form a party, and so then we'd have voice chat anyway, and then we'd go into the game and play. Like we weren't actually like using the game for party chat and stuff. Um, but yeah, so that's a good question. Like, would I just like lean on that functionality and just be like, hey, form a party and then come in the game and play, or would it make sense to like have the game itself manage the party? I'd have to look into the APIs and stuff like that. If people expect the game to handle that, like to handle voice chat, then maybe I would do that. But it's a tricky thing though, because like I'd love for like two people playing on a Quest to be able to join up with two people playing on their phones or on PC or something. And so then like how does voice chat work there if we're using like Quest specific voice chat? Um, I guess just the Quest people can talk to each other, or yeah, I don't know. Have to answer those questions. But that kind of comes back to the general question of voice chat, is just like it would be super cool to add, but there's all these like weird platform issues. It's like, you want this platform to be able to talk to this platform, but there's not like one voice chat that'll work everywhere. But for like Quest and stuff, voice chat, it was really nice. Like, yeah, when we're playing mini golf, voice chat was that's basically the reason we play. We just hop on and three or four friends hop in and have voice chat, and we just be like talking about stuff with mini mini golf in the background. Like I wouldn't want to do voice chat again. This we've talked about this before. Like voice chat with random people would be, I think, bad by default. I feel like that would be an opt-in thing, definitely. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. See the little record button up here. I, I was traumatized enough by forgetting to a few weeks ago that hopefully I will not forget for a while. Um, but anyway, yeah, that would be interesting. How to handle that with voice chat. I as I mentioned, I'm working on cloud stuff right now, so I'm hoping to get like a prototype version of parties going, so we can maybe start answering some of these questions, just like how this will work. Like how it'll work getting people into your party, and then if there is stuff like Quest voice chat, would that work with Quest people? Would that not work? Who knows? I would. I'd plan to not put a technical. Oh, it's the question here is: Are squad parties going to be limited to 4 people? Um, I'm not planning on putting a technical limit in there. I mean, it might kind of be like the original game. It like technically you can have up to 255 players, but there's like some soft limits to try to keep it at 8 by default. Um, I'll probably do something like that where parties will probably not have a hard limit. I think because I could see some cases where you might want to invite like 8 people into a party and then just like play a local game. Kind of like a classic mode sort of thing. Just like hey, let's spin up a game for the 8 people in the party. Um, but at the same point, like competitive stuff or leagues or things like that, it does seem like if your party represents like a team and you're taking on other teams, like it does seem like having some limit there would probably be good, like 4 people or something. Um, for one, getting games where it's like 6 on 6, that would start to be crowded and not work well. So it might be like maybe when you're journeying or yeah, it would probably depend on like the game type you're trying to play. Like if you're trying to just do matchmaking, competitive matchmaking, it probably would limit you to like 4, I'm guessing. Um, but I don't. Yeah, the party system itself, I don't think there will be a limit. Definitely not 4. I would definitely want it to be at least 8. If there's some technical reason to prevent it from being bigger, then yeah, maybe it would be like a soft limit at 8 or something. Cool. my duh face. This brings up a random topic or playing music. I'd love to. It'd be fun to. Maybe I mentioned this before, like playing with the soundtrack stuff. Like it'd be super cool if you could, like taking that to the next level and being able to pick like victory music for your player profile or something like that. Like that would be super funny. Just like every time you win, it just plays some annoying song or something, or you just get to kind of gloat. Um, But the bad thing about that is, soundtracks are only local, so it'd be cool if there's some way to be able to like play music for your friends or something like super annoying music that every time you beat them. Um, but that makes me wonder, like, how would that work? Like, I guess the music would have to be like built into the game or something like that. But it also makes me wonder, like, if there's other soundtrack types, I don't know, like Spotify or Apple Music, or if we allowed like picking songs from there, then like other people with those services could theoretically you could like play victory music, and then other people could hear that music or something. So I don't know. There's but at the same point, then it would only be like some people would hear the soundtrack music that you've selected, and other people wouldn't. So I don't know. I don't know if any of that is a good idea, but it's fun stuff to think about. Gorilla Tag. That's a quest thing, right? I've heard of that. I've not played it. Is it good? Yeah, I've been slacking on. I mean, I still get my Quest out and just play around with it occasionally, but I have not played any new games on it recently. Um, so yeah, I mean, this is an option, I guess. Like ship the annoying music with the app. That even could be. I mean, that unfortunately means like it can't be copyrighted music, or if it is, I'd have to pay for rights for that, which means that would be either expensive or whatever. But we could probably find some just royalty free annoying music. Or I mean, there's some like there's a few things that are in the game that I did pay for like licenses for. It was like a one time payment sort of thing for like royalty free music. So I'm totally fine with paying reasonable or paying one time fees to have cool music in the game. So we could build up like a selection of things to play when you win. That could still be kind of fun. I'm sure there's plenty of. Yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it, looking through those sites, there was a lot of kind of classical or just like silly royalty-free music you could license. So that would be fun. Maybe that would be another way. Like I said, I need to get monetization working a little bit better to start paying for my servers. So that could be another thing, like unlock annoying music to play when you beat someone. But yeah, I should play Gorilla Tag. Like I said, I've heard a lot about that. I heard it was like super popular on Quest. So ever played rugby? Um, well, I'm in America, so we got American football here, which is a little different than rugby. So I have not played rugby. Not that I've played American football really. I mean like touch football back in elementary school or something. But when I host a private party in cloud server, how's the server chosen? The closest one to me? Yes, exactly. Right now, that's the logic. It when you spin up the game, burr, 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 check on our fleet here. When you spin up the game in the background, it's kind of it's not too complicated of a process, but basically the master server like sees where you're connecting from, on based on the web request, and then it picks out a few of my regional servers, regional server locations. It sends them to you, and then your client starts like pinging different regional servers to see which one's the closest, and so it maintains a connection to whichever one is the closest. So that you can see here, which is usually working well. That's all these little green lines. So whenever these green dots represent people playing the game or locations where somebody is playing, and these lines represent like the regional server that they have determined is the closest. So in most cases, you can see the lines go to something reasonable. Like this guy probably pinged this server and this server and this server, and this one was like the lowest ping, which it seems like this one would be, but either either the network infrastructure is laid out in a certain way, or my logic just isn't working right. But yeah, most some of these it's screwy. Obviously, it's not working right. Some of these guys, it's like this guy's over here, and he's like, let's see, the closest server is clearly this one. so so some of these, yeah, it's not a perfect system, or maybe it's just like a fluke that like the pings locally didn't come out fast. But anyway, so yeah, it tries to find the closest uh, regional server location, and then it hosts a game at that location. So, but this map includes public parties also, right? Um, oh no, the public parties are not on this map. I mean, this map is basically just my server locations. The little purple dots are where I'm hosting AWS servers. So that's like they're BASN nodes is what they're called, which is just Ballistica Server Node. That's my name for them, but I should have come up with something better. But these are just like purple dots is where I can host cloud stuff. So whenever you host so this map is only showing that. So when you're hosting a private party, it's hosting it on one of these purple dots, whichever one is closest to you. Public parties is just like if you're running a copy of the game and it's accessible from the internet, like that's that. But that doesn't show up on this map. I mean, technically public parties show up as a green dot because it's also a running instance of the game. So if if I'm aware of it, it should be on this map. Um, but they don't show up like the purple dots are where private parties can happen, and then public parties, like I said, is just wherever. Soccer mode, yes, soccer would be good. This is a common request, and some people have made some really awesome soccer mods. So it'd be cool to get an official one in there at some point. Again, maybe at 1.8 that can start to be a thing or something. Because with asset packages and cloud games and things like that, it'll start to be where like I can add official games. I mean, by official, I just mean like ones that I've added. I don't plan to like. I mean, when we start to get like squads mode and cloud games and stuff, like I'll kind of maintain the final say on like which leagues or which games or whatever people see by default, because I'd like to curate that and have that be kind of consistent and whatever. But I don't plan on like I plan on using the exact same tech that you folks would be using in terms of like defining a cloud game or uploading assets or whatever. Like I wanted to make it completely the same for me as for everyone else. Um, so if I add a soccer game, that technically wouldn't be any different than somebody else adding a soccer game. It's just whoever adds it, at some point I could like flag it as like this game's cool. Like make this available to everyone. Like click. So official BS servers from different cities. I should mention that my the public servers that I'm hosting, like all the official ones, those are getting hosted at these locations. So what I meant is like if anyone else is hosting, a public party, that can be from anywhere. But the ones I'm hosting, yeah, those are also on these AWS locations. So like Teams US East is one of these. I forgot which. Like Teams India 1 or Teams India 2 or A or B, or again I forgot the naming, but yeah, those are all these locations here. The newest one here, Manila, appeared a few weeks ago. So yeah, sorry if I was unclear on that, but yeah, all the official games I'm running are all at these spots. Because yeah, I'm just still hosting games from everywhere that Amazon allows me to. So here's their current map of like local zones they're adding. This isn't the full map. There are like local zones are just they're like these smaller server locations that they've been adding, because then they can add them like all over the place. They also have like their bigger locations, which they're not on this map, but I'm using those as well. Like there's one in like Spain and yeah, a few other places. But anyway, these are some of the new server locations that they will be adding. The green ones have not yet been added, so the purple ones are added. So there's a few in Europe now. These, so I'm using almost everyone they add. I enable, so we can do servers. So that's like you can see their newest news is Manila, and so that's why I added Manila as soon as that popped up. So it's very exciting for me. Like I check this like every day. It's like, is there more server locations? Yay! Even though that means like more more server costs, but I'll take care of that at some point here. Just need to add once we add annoying music that you can play when you win to annoy your friends. That'll cover the servers. Where are the submarines? Oh yeah, we forgot to check for submarines. What do we got today for submarines? Oh, what the heck? There's not much going on in the submarine world today. There's this little guy kind of off Puerto Rico here, or a little off South America. We got one submarine off the southern coast of India. But yeah, there's nothing. No one playing the game from the deep ocean. I hope it wasn't the Titanic sub. That's terrible. Too early. Too soon. Though actually, that was I think I'm trying to remember the Titanic. Titanic went down. I think like right here. So I don't think we've ever seen any subs here. So I don't think they were playing Bomb Squad. So it's all good. Submarine players at 2. That would be interesting. Just like have some achievement where like if you're playing the game from the middle of an ocean, you get something. Like the game would become like super popular in Hawaii or something. Okay, I will. Yeah. Okay, I've been kind of keeping up with this. The PR597. That's the like chat message being offset. I'll try to take a look at that when I get a chance. Special fish character. Yes. That would be a hard character to make, like a fish. There's certain because yeah, there's certain requests for animals where it's like you have to. Certain animals work well, like the bear, or even the penguin works well because they kind of have human shapes. But other ones, it's like you'd have to just really distort them to get to kind of fit in like the humanoid shape. It's possible. I mean, obviously you can make like a humanoid version of anything, but some are harder than like a snake. If you wanted like a snake character, that would be really tricky. Oh, that's interesting. Or yeah, I guess just getting super stylized with it, just like fins, like a yeah big vague fins for where the feet should be, and then like where the hands should be, and sunglasses like on the fish's chest for for whatever reason. That's awesome. But yeah, it is interesting. I talking about like who's getting internet from these like obscure locations. I do feel a little bit bad because a lot of like my master server and the kind of the central servers for the game, they're here in California or at least like on the Western U.S. So I should probably set something up to where like I'm testing with bad lag, like having all my stuff go through like a server in Europe or something like that or Asia, just to like to see places where it's especially annoying to have to wait for talking to my account server thing, just in like the UI, if it's just like spinning or waiting for the game to boot or things like that, like pain points. I should probably like do a better job of looking out for those. Please hire Sock already. I do like talked about this before, but I would like to get to the point, not necessarily hiring people, but it'd be super cool to get to the point where if like people make mini games and things like that, I could pay them or something, or like not or some combination of hire or just like Steam Workshop, just something where people could make money from making stuff for the game in some way, whether I'm paying them or it's Steam Workshop or something. So that would be super cool. Or yeah, community man. Like that does make me wonder. Yeah, would a community manager be cool to have or something? I don't know. Again, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it if I can get the monetization working well enough where I could actually pay some people without burning my savings to the ground. So we'll see. Modding tournament would be awesome. Like I would love to do that. I have some. Oh man, I have like all these ideas. I don't want to talk about them too much, but as I said, I've been planning this week on like cloud stuff, getting the pieces in place for being able to put together, like cloud leagues and cloud tournaments and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like plotting this out in stages. So I guess I can just spoil it, but the first bit I'm planning to get in there is basically just getting like squads mode up and running, but with like completely ridiculous minimal gameplay to where it's like you'll be able to form a squad and like play against other squads, but it won't actually be like bomb squad. It'll just be like text based or something completely ridiculous. To where we could make like little people would be able to like script little mini games where it's just like text based and everyone has like two buttons they can press. So you could make it's like when you're starting out programming and at least for me, the very first thing I did was, create a little RPG or something. Just like, oh, you enter a dungeon, you see a goblin. What do you do? Attack, potion, run away. Like, did everyone else do that? Like when you were learning to code, was that like the first thing you made is just like a little text-based RPG? I'm curious. But anyway, my thought is like getting squads mode up and running. Like the very first thing that it would probably do is something like that, to where like you can form a squad, invite a few friends, and then like start a game. But the game will be something ridiculous like that, like a text based thing. So I was thinking like it could be cool to just kind of publish that and let people like make little text based things. And so just see what people could come up with for like squad based text RPGs. You know, just have a little tournament. Like see who could come up with the most ridiculous little thing. What? What? Putting missions in Bomb Squad. Well, this kind of goes to what I was talking about. Is like with the squads based thing. Another thing that I would really like to do is I'm trying to think of this concept of like leagues for squad based leagues, something where that would be like a scriptable thing where I could make a league which would just be like standard ladder league or something where you play bomb squad games. But then we could also, people could script up custom leagues where it's just like RPG league where it just puts you in little RPG adventures or something like that, and then keeps track of how well everyone's done. And then there's like a leaderboard of who's found the most loot or something. Um, but I do want to make like this idea of like scriptable leagues basically. So, and I want to build like all my stuff on top of that. So I don't know. I'm still planning that, but that would be super cool that people could. You could make little leagues that were like mission based or leagues that are just like a giant multiplayer tournament where everyone signs up for the tournament and then it all happens like at one point in time or something like that. I don't know. Just trying to make this open-ended idea of what would be like what would be a V2 like league. So anyway, you'll hear more about that in coming weeks, months, whatever, as I'm working on it. But yeah. Oh, we're still okay. It's weird. I'm like talking about like leagues and stuff, going off on this tangent, and still like trying to track the. Everyone's still talking about characters and stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool, like a Transformery character. Everyone loves Transformers. Or yeah, car humanoids. Competitive visual novel? What? Or just yeah, like a RPG. It'd be super cool to just make a simple little RPG where you have some little cave level, everyone pops in and like you go exploring or fighting goblins or something. Diablo, who needs Diablo? We have Bomb Squad. So yeah, hopefully I will have, like I said, hopefully I want to try and give myself milestones for all this cloud stuff and squad stuff and all that. That's why I'm trying to aim for like this very basic thing, like a text based multiplayer or something where it's like a very very clearly preliminary simple thing, just to get it up and running and people could play with that. And then once that's in place, then move from there to physics based stuff and get full bomb squad. Eventually, kind of working 100% with like a squads V2 cleanly re-implemented stuff like that. Guns update. We do need. I was talking to Mickey Rugg about this, but yeah, just like ray casting. That would just be a super useful little thing. A ray casting function for people who did want to do anything like guns or something. Oh no. uh, our bet. Our battle royales still like our new games coming out with like the battle royale uh, kind of format, or has that like died down? Are games like not doing that anymore? Like again, I should be playing more games and paying more attention to what's popular and stuff, but it just seemed like for a hot minute there, it was just everything was a battle royale. Yeah, yeah, it does seem like yeah, Fortnite and PUBG kind of surround like circled that market. Like I don't think Bomb Squad like technically like as a battle royale, I don't think the game couldn't really support 100 players on a map without some major tech work. Um, but I thought like kind of copying those concepts a little bit of just having everyone join a big tournament and then kind of like everyone plays little mini games against groups, then it get filters down into just like one winner or whatever. Like in a way, like something like that could be cool, just like a tournament. But it wouldn't be like a battle royale where it's like everyone on one map. But I mean, or yeah, everyone on the one map could work. But like I said, that would definitely require some substantial tech work. Like there's a lot of. I think it's kind of an advantage. It's kind of nice to be able to make certain assumptions. Like right now, the game just assumes like everyone is on a smallish playing field that everyone can see everything. So it doesn't have to worry about like, okay, we only need to send like this character's updates to this character because the other characters can't see him or the other clients can't see him. Or like right now we just send all updates to everyone and we just draw everything. It's kind of keeps things simple in a way in terms of like structuring the engine and stuff like that. But it means it wouldn't scale to that level. If you throw 100 characters on there, it's going to be sending every character's update to every client, which would be crazy bandwidth intense and breakdown. It's already more bandwidth intense than it should be in the current state, but that would be ridiculous. Um, so to do something like a clash or a battle royale, we'd have to get smarter in terms of like, oh, there's this big map. We're only going to draw like part of the map on the screen. Um, and we're only going to like send player updates to you if you can actually see that player and things like that. What is the? I like vaguely am following that like Gollum game. Oh no, they issued an apology. Oh, so what? That Gollum game was just like just bad. Like what was the story with that? Or do they know like why it was bad or like what happened? Was it like a rushed schedule or just like they didn't do a good job? Okay, so yeah, it could have just been rushed. AI generated. Yeah, that's AI. Of course, continues to be an interesting topic. Didn't I saw that Steam said they will not accept games that have AI generated content right now if it's like if there's any question as to like where the AI was trained on, because it's like a legal gray area in terms of like is that using copyrighted stuff or not. But yeah, that's a bummer. Being a huge Lord of the Rings fan myself, I feel like I haven't played. I played like one or two Lord of the Rings games way back in the day, just like at my cousin's place on Xbox or something. There was some Lord of the Rings. I think it was Lord of the Rings. It was like a RTS. I thought I was reading about a few years ago, but then I lost track of it. It came out on Steam or something. Are there still like that whole genre like Star that like there's no plans for new like StarCraft or Warcraft or anything, right? Like no more. I'm curious like the real-time strategy genre, is that still thriving? Are there new real-time strategy games coming out? Oh, Battle Pass? This is I know we've talked about this a bit and I do plan to like I said, my overall plan, what I'd love to do is I want to make this kind of like league system where people can write their own leagues and you can give people you can write your own league and come up with your own like rewards or things in your league like, oh, when you play this game you get league bucks. I don't know, something like that. um, and then there will be some like free to play mechanic tied in where I'm thinking of maybe copying Clash Royales a little bit where like you earn everything in game. But if you're playing the free version of the game, you just have to like wait a little while to unlock those things that you've earned in game. So like everything that you basically the way this would work is like every character and everything you unlock would be purely from gameplay stuff, like stuff you got through gameplay. But there might be like annoying little weights and stuff like that. That that would be where the free to play part comes in. But anyway, I do plan to like write this monetization manifesto, like that's what I call it. Just like describing how this whole thing will work for like squads mode, and it would be something that people would be able to tie into like writing their own leagues or something. Um, and yeah, I've thought about like a battle pass as part of that, just like as a component where if you have your league and things you can unlock in your league or whatever, like if you want to make a battle pass or you want to maybe that would be something that would get added at some point. It's certainly not a limitation of Python or anything like that. Or there, it's just like do we want to implement that? So, yeah, I don't plan to add a battle pass immediately or anything, but I could see that as being maybe something that could be cool to add at some point. Maybe if it's done in a not sleazy way or not annoying way. I know some people have mentioned like battle passes are annoying, or like some battle passes are better than others, like ones where you can like continue to unlock the stuff after the season is over, or things like that. Like if there's a so yeah, we'll we'll see. But yeah, I would want to, if there is a battle pass, I would want it to be like one that doesn't feel sleazy. I mean, that's my hope in general for the free to play stuff is not sleazy free to play. Okay, so yeah, that would, if I can do that, that is that's the one tricky thing, being able to like unlock stuff with in-game currency. I'd love for that to be possible. I'm not sure if I'll do that. We'll have to see. Like that's one thing that was really tricky with the classic economy where it's just tickets is that like I think originally pro could be unlocked with just tickets, but it wound up being like people, it was easy enough for people to get enough tickets to unlock pro that like no one ever paid for pro, and so it's like I need to get some people to pay for the game. So I'd yeah, if I can balance that in a better way, or make that more reliable to where people are still incentivized to pay sometimes, then yeah, I would love to have in-game currency be able to unlock battle passes and things like that. But can't promise that. Yeah, I gotta. I do like for the new economy, it probably will be more strict in terms of like the hard currency as it's called in gameplay lingo. Um, there'll probably be like fewer ways to earn that in game, just to you know make it a bit more, not forcing people, but like if you want to dodge this annoying wait for this treasure chest, like yeah, you gotta pay eventually or something. So again, we'll see. I want to try to make it non sleazy, but I also need to pay for these servers, so gotta find that balance. But yeah, part of that will be I plan to have like basically two currencies. So one will just be like the in-game currency where you earn that for like winning matches and things like that, and then the other will just be like basically the free-to-play currency, which is only in the free-to-play version. Like if you've paid for a if you're playing on Apple Arcade or something, if it gets on there where it's like there's no free to play stuff, then you just don't have that currency, and that's just like that would just be the one you use to like skip weights and things like that. So I want to kind of keep them separate so I can kind of manage that a little bit better. Um, but yeah, again, I'll go into more detail on that as it kind of materializes. But I do think the upside of a battle pass is like it's kind of cool to give some people like the I would see the purpose of it as giving people a way to just potentially pay real money to get some cool stuff immediately. Um, I want to avoid that in other situations. Like I said, for normally unlocking characters and unlocking all the cool stuff, like I prefer that to be like all through stuff you earn in the game. Even if you have to like wait to get that currency, like I want it to be something where like if you see someone with a cool skin, they've like earned that skin and not just like paid $20 for it. Like I'd love to have that be kind of the thing. It's kind of like I'm guilty of not doing that right now. Like if you get one of the unlock a cool character, you could have just paid for it, which is like it's okay, but I don't know. I'd like to preserve something where it's when you see people with cool unlocks, they've kind of at least played the game a bit. Uh, People Discord get free bomb pass. Yeah, I'd like to do stuff like that. If you saw, I did a random thing, just like a 500 coin pack. I just threw out into the general channel, kind of as an experiment, like last week. I was seeing like who would enter the code. Well, it was probably a bad time of day too. I think like most people on the server were asleep, but it was kind of an experiment to see like who would enter the code quickly or first. But it took a while still. Like the code went unused for like a few hours. But it would be cool to, yeah, like I could, I don't know, start doing just like pro or bomb pass giveaways or something every day or something, or every so often here on the server as a fun little way to just get people to hop on the server or be involved or whatever. Or yeah, or just I don't know, little like giveaways or little tournaments we could run or something. I don't know, just having fun with stuff. I don't want to give away too much stuff. I mean, well, it's not about like making money or anything. It's just like I want it to yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. I just don't want to be too like I don't know, focus too much on that, or I still want people to like feel like oh they should play the game and not just like hang out on Discord. I was reading about Diablo 3. They originally had like that real money economy, where you could like get stuff in the game and then sell it for real money. I think my brother was in college at the time, and he actually like started making some decent money from Diablo 3. Just he'd like buy items for cheap and then sell them for expensive, and he had this whole like system. But anyway, apparently that just kind of like messed with the game economy. Like it just became like you wouldn't want to play the game to get cool stuff. You would just like learn how to find it cheap on the store, and it kind of just like ruined a bit of the fun. So that for various reasons they got rid of it at some point. But so yeah, that reminded me of that. Just like the game economies, you don't want to like skew them in weird ways. Any other projects besides Bomb Squad? No, I don't. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to kind of generalize Bomb Squad into bits of the engine that I can use for other things. There's certainly like other things I'd love to build using these pieces, um, other like gameplay styles, and a lot of that would be just like potentially Bomb Squad mini games. But also, I've touched on this before. The idea of like it could be cool to have like an AR version of Bomb Squad, or a similar game built on similar pieces, but like built around AR. If AR becomes a big thing or something, you like play it on tabletop, or something like a VR version of the game where maybe it's more geared for a VR experience. Yeah, something where like right now there's the VR version of the game, but it's basically you're just playing the normal game like on a tabletop. You're just like looking down, and it's super cool to see like everything in 3D, but it's still just like the normal game. It could be fun to like make different experiences, or something where it's like a one-handed play version of the game or something like that, where maybe it was more like Clash Royale or something, where it's built on pieces like Bomb Squad pieces, but it's more just like a casual thing. You're throwing characters out into an arena or something, watching like Spaz and Kronk go at it, just like dropping power-ups for them, or who knows. So there's all these ideas that would be fun to do. And yeah, that's another thing too. Is like if there were like right now, everything is like a. I'm just calling it a Ballistica account. So it's like even if you sign in with Google Play, or just sign up with a for an account with your email or whatever, it's all going to be like one account. So if there were different games that popped up, I'm trying to like keep that in mind, to where if I were to release like a tabletop AR version of the game or something, you'd still have your same account. So maybe some of that would carry over, like any unlocks or things like that. We could kind of have like a shared set of stuff, which would be cool, or achievements, or whatever, like just so it would be kind of like interconnected games as opposed to like completely separate. So I just thought that would be kind of fun. All right, enjoy the. What are you playing on VR? Gorilla Tag? Something else? And chess. Chess would be fun. That would be super. I mean, not super easy, but it would be easy once we get asset packs and stuff. Then someone should make just like a set of chess pieces. Oh, Sock, did I answer this particular concepts? I was just thinking of, just like the AR thing or like the one-handed thing where, it's just like built around like a simpler input or a VR thing where maybe, who knows what that would be? Maybe you're throwing bombs at characters coming at you or something. I don't know, using your hands. Just something where it would like be taking advantage of like the actual input methods. Um, but who knows? That would all just, I mean, it could just be experiments too. I mean, a lot of this is like with the cloud leagues and things that I want to build. I'm hoping to just kind of, maybe some of these could just be really general things. Just like the VR version would just be like, okay, here's all the standard Bomb Squad pieces you can build mini games out of, but then you also have like hand input. So like, go at it, make fun stuff. We'll see. But yeah, AR does seem fun. Like, it'd be cool to. That kind of goes into the idea of like, I want to make it easy to build maps out of, putting stuff on your table and scanning that. But like, if AR gets to the point where it can do that in real time, it's just like, then you can just, play on your table while you even scan it. Um, that stuff is still pretty basic though, like from what I've played with in terms of what it can detect and like the detail it can detect on stuff like on your table. It's like you can be like, okay, here's a table and here's like basically the square that like encompasses your table. You can detect that and put that in the game world, but trying to like build exact meshes out of the things on your table and stuff like that, like in real time, that's still kind of like, I don't know how well that would work. AR, but you play from first person. Oh God. So just like life-size Kronk just like coming in your apartment and attacking you. That's terrifying. Or giant penguins just like slapping the crap out of you. Just jeez. Just like throwing bombs, like blowing up your furniture. Oh, I'm gonna have nightmares of this. But I could see something like that being fun and maybe VR or something. Like maybe it would just be a map where, it would almost be like first person, run around or something like that. Like throwing bombs, except instead of like throwing them using your character, you're just like throwing them yourself to try to like stop people from getting places or, something like that. But you're just taking it totally different directions. Just turning this into Sim City. Or we could make the Sims. Like, if we're doing Sims, we could just like you raise your little characters and they have relationships and stuff. Kronk has a little like house and he sleeps, and he like plays the banjo, or he like develops other hobbies. Here we go. New map that will be part of 1.8. The big plan for 1.8 is downloadable assets, and oh, there we go. The roadmap seagull. We haven't seen him yet today. But yeah, that's the plan. Is that yeah, around 1.8 we should have some new stuff like that because it will be possible to add that without having to update the game. So that's kind of a big goal of 1.8, and a big reason why I haven't added any stuff recently. Yeah, there were a few other questions that came up earlier about that Roadmap Seagull could have addressed, but he hasn't been here. Usually he shows up very quickly. Roadmap Seagull. Yeah, I'd wonder that goes back. Like, could Roadmap Seagull? Hmm. Like, I'm wondering what like a human shaped Roadmap Seagull that could work maybe. I mean, penguin works. A penguin shaped character works. So I feel like you could do probably a decent Roadmap Seagull. Yes, it's like recursive bomb squad, like Sim Bomb Squad. Kronk makes Bomb Squad 3. Yeah, Bomb Squadception. Potato Squad. A potato character. Yeah, this could be like Kronk's like inner psyche. It's just like potatoes everywhere, with arms and legs. And his name is Spencer. I'm picturing like the California raisins. If you've all seen that, just like really simple, just like this, except a potato. Like, yeah. And he just says like Kronk. It's just like recursive. This is turning into some weird, twisted dystopian nightmare. Yeah, exactly. Kronk. Potato. Concept art of the maps or other things. I did somewhere. Yeah, there were. Yeah, this was something I think I showed this recently. I found this really. This is some sketch I did of a map that's not even in the game. It was in like the original, like 0.6 before I redid everything in Clay. But this is just some like random sketch I did like a bajillion years ago, and I totally forgot I had it here. So it was like it was kind of cool to discover it a few months ago or whenever. But yeah, I do wish I had kept more of the like the original like clay sculptures and things. I will try to do that, even though I don't have a huge apartment and not a ton of room for that sort of thing. It'd be cool to keep that stuff around, just like original character sculpts. Even though a lot of them were like, I'd spend like barely any time building the character in clay, and then like way too much time, converting it to 3D and trying to clean it up. So it's like the original clay models weren't actually all that remarkable. So, oh, thank you. I, it's funny. I used to draw a lot. Like I grew up, I was like the class artist and like loved drawing and all that. Then I went to art school. I was talking to someone about this the other day, saying like art school kind of it teaches you a lot, but it also like makes everything very serious. It suddenly like drawing and stuff becomes more like this thing you're supposed to like practice and be good at, and it's like stressful. And so I feel like I don't draw anymore just because of that. I mean, I still do sometimes, but it becomes like I've talked to other art school students that are like this, where like it kind of beats it out of you, like beats the fun out of it in a way. It's like, oh, I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be drawing, um, or I should be practicing if I am drawing. So yeah, I feel like I should draw more just for fun and not even worry about like if it's good or not. What is this? Oh, yeah, what? That is, jeez, nightmare potato. Ugh, that's sad. Ah, ah. No, I still do enjoy like drawing or things like that. If I'm making something for the game, I'll still just like sketch around, sketch with. I still enjoy kind of messing around, but I feel like I just don't do it as much as I used to, like when I was a kid. Um, but part of that too is like there's other stuff that I enjoy more. Like I love coding. Even though I went to art school, I love just like the tech stuff. I love the art stuff too, but like I just love coding things and whatever. 'Cause to me, it's like a cheat code for art. It's like you can kind of teach the computer to help you make art, basically. I mean, I guess these days with AI art and stuff, you literally can teach the computer to make art itself. So it's getting to kind of a scary point, but yeah. Any of you folks like drawing like for fun? I mean, Sock, I know you do. Yeah, you're always drawing stuff. Anyone else? Not even like you don't have to be good at it or anything. Just folks just do it for fun. Cool. Oh, oh, nice. Did you make that? Oh, nice. Good work. What did you use for that? Is that like drawn in real life and then painted on computer, or just all computer? All pewter. Cool. I remember growing up. I mean, I'm super old or whatever, but yeah, I remember going to friends' houses that had like Windows 3.1 and like Paintbrush, and that was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Because I didn't, my family didn't get a computer until I was probably like 13 or 14 or something. But up till then, yeah, I just loved like anytime I could go play with like Windows Paintbrush. It was like the coolest thing ever. Even though like it had very basic tools and stuff, it was still awesome. Like no, I think the airbrush was just like dots. It wasn't even like gradients. It was just very cool. How to put new audio in Bomb Squad. This is a job for asset packs. uh, so this will be hopefully coming up very soon. I'll be showing you the ins and outs of how to do this. Um, you'll basically create an asset pack of the audio you want, and then from your Python you will just say like, use this asset pack and play this audio, and the cloud will magically handle all of that. So it's right now you have to convert your WAV files into OGG files and distribute them to everyone who's playing your mod and whatever else, which is, yeah, tedious. Cool. Is that based on like a photo or what? Yeah, or just like like Photoshop filter type stuff. It's cool looking. Nice. That can be fun too. Like I mean, I definitely started doing that more with Bomb Squad characters and stuff. Is like kind of this weird combination thing. Like make them out of clay, but then kind of edit them in Photoshop, or you kind of learn you can sort of push certain things without. At some point, it starts looking edited, or it starts looking like painted and not real. Um, but it's kind of fun to kind of combine those a little bit. Or like one thing I did is originally when I was making characters, I would make them with different colors of clay, just to try to get the colors in there. But at some point, I started just making everything gray and then doing the coloring in Photoshop, just because that's so much easier, um, for when I just don't have to worry about the colors when I'm sculpting it, and because it's super easy to like blend the colors accidentally as you're molding stuff. So everything is like Bernard here. He's just all gray, uh, and then just changed him to be brown and gave him his necktie color and stuff in Photoshop. Here's an earlier. I guess this was a counterpoint. I guess this was earlier, but here I actually used like different color clay for Frosty here. Um, but yeah, I kind of mostly stopped doing that with the later characters. Sculpts are massive. Kind of. I mean, I guess I could make them a bit smaller. But yeah, I try to make them like, GI Joe figure sized or like that so big. Well, if you can do it small, that's awesome. I mean, for me, I do them as small as I can without making it hard to work with. Like I feel like if it's smaller than that, like my fingers just like I can't do details if I want to. Um, I yeah, I finally. Well, let me go grab it. Be right back. So I haven't been doing characters lately, but I finally I ordered this, just like a big ol' honking chunk of plasticine, whatever this stuff is called. But yeah, it's sculpting clay. I'm currently using it as a doorstop. It keeps my balcony door open. so, uh, but yeah, I want to start just getting tons of clay. Actually, yeah, it's been sitting outside for months now. I hope this isn't like ruining it. We'll see. But yeah, I want to start just like buying more clay than I need instead of recycling it. Because like I said, I used to just make a character and then like take photos and then like smash it up and then build the next one. But I'd rather like keep them around. If nothing else, I could like give them to people or something. I don't know. Have like some big giant tournament and the winner gets like the original sculpt of some character or something. That could be cool. But yeah, I feel like I think I used clay, colored clay more for maps. But but yeah, I like gray clay just because then yeah, like I said, you don't have to worry about. Plus, like when I'm working with it, you know, the colors get on your fingers, and then you work with another color, and like you're smearing that color on the other color, and it's just like harder to work with. Um, with gray, it's just like it's all just gray. So and yeah, like adding colors in Photoshop is pretty easy for that kind of stuff. Just flip into color mode. And plus, in a lot of those cases, anyway, it's like for if it's a character for the game, like it needs to be not in color anyway because the game, you know, colors it based on your team name or team color and stuff like that. Oh, goodbye, heading out. Make a polar bear version where the bear nose is black and fur is white, can't be customized. I mean, that'd be cool, but then like, how does it work with teams? That is always the tricky things with you know like bones or the characters that don't have that aren't, you know, a skeleton's always supposed to be white, but it's like he needs to be kind of like tinted for his team. So it's kind of like finding that balance where like you can kind of tell what color he is. But I guess in, you know, normally in the game like you see their name also, so I guess we could kind of rely on that. But I feel kind of bad relying on like their name to tell what team they are. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Cool, cool. Well, anyone have any last topics? Otherwise, maybe I will. We're getting close to 2 hours here, so I can we can wrap up soon. 1.8 when? That is a good question. I mean, I'll give the same annoying like Blizzard always used to give this answer, where it's when it's ready. Uh, but yeah, the big pieces of 1.8 are asset packs, and like I said, maybe this is kind of like it's not necessarily part of the feature list, but I do want to get squads mode working, at least in a basic form, as part of 1.8. That's kind of like what I'm working on right now. Is I'd love to at least, like I said, get it to a point where you can create squads, or you know, like flip into squads mode, even if it's like some secret thing that only you folks know or whatever, and then invite people to your squad, and then play some little stupid text-based game at least, or you know, something very bare bones where it's happening like on the cloud server, and you know, it's kind of just like a minimum viable product or like the basic pieces of what squads mode will be. So that's yeah, that's kind of the two things that I want to get in for 1.8. So it just depends on how long that takes to get done. It's hard to say. Oh, of course, yeah, I'll hop into DMs after this. Um, but yeah, the I mean, in general, the recent versions have been about a year per version. 1.7 was about a year, I think. 1.6 was about a year. 1.5 was more than a year, I think, because that was such a huge rewrite, going from Python 2 to 3 and adding type checking and all that stuff. That was pretty massive. Um, so the biggest part of 1.8 is probably that refactor that's already done. You know, splitting everything out into all these different packages. So that part thankfully is done. And once again, I apologize for putting everyone through that. Um, but hopefully that'll be the last time that such a massive refactor has to happen. The to-do list gets longer and longer. Yes, I know. I just I've had to learn to deal with that. The to-do list is constantly growing because this stuff is fun and there's cool things that would be fun to add, but um, there's also stuff getting done. Like this refactor is done. Asset packages will be hopefully done soon, or at least functional. So we're making progress. And there's always like there's a natural process too, where like the stuff at the bottom of the to-do list always just it eventually gets forgotten. So it's more just like prioritizing like what we want to see the most, and that stuff gets done. You know, it works. But yeah, I don't really like I haven't really maintained like an official to-do list lately because yeah, they keep getting longer and longer. It's more like most of my notes lately are just like topic based. Like this is what I'd like to see for this, and then eventually. Though I actually have like deleted some notes lately, like the 1720 stuff. I've been largely like deleting those notes because it's like cool, I got all this done. So all right, see you, pro gamer. If you can make codes to give away tickets, I could make code that revokes tickets. Um, I don't think. I mean, currently, I don't allow tickets to go negative. So yeah, there's no such thing as ticket debt. Though actually, I don't know if I would check for that. Like in the code where it redeems codes to add tickets to your account. I don't know if I would actually like clamp that value. Like if I created a promo code that gave you negative 1,000 tickets, like it may actually like totally just break something in your account, just like give you a negative value, and then yeah, I'm sure that would manifest in like weird bugs and things. So, yeah, I will try not to do that. If you ever see that you have a negative ticket balance, please let me know because that shouldn't happen. The one time I did, I think I did like go through and programmatically revoke stuff was like very early on. I think I've told this story about when I first released the game. Every like there wasn't any checks, and people were like hacking ticket packs and stuff to give themselves like infinite tickets, even on my server, because I wasn't like checking to see if you actually like bought the $20 ticket pack. Um, so once I got that fixed and I started like checking for that, I went through and I made something to try to detect people that had like faked ticket packs and then like revoked those tickets just to try to like avoid the economy being eternally skewed with like a handful of people having a bajillion tickets. So that's the one time, and part of it was just like vindictive. It was just like, you jerks, hacking my stuff. I'm gonna take your tickets away. But since then, I haven't done any like negative tickets. Maybe there's been once or twice where I think someone bought like a bajillion ticket packs or something, like actually bought, like paid for it. But then I got an email saying like, oh, my child um, accidentally purchased, all these ticket packs with my credit card. And like in that case, I think I went into their account and like took the tickets away, just in case it was someone like trying to pull a fast one on me. But yeah, usually I don't do that. So anyway, I guess on that note, we'll wrap it up for today. Unless anyone has any last comments or questions, I'll be in the Discord server here if anyone has anything they want to say. And otherwise, everyone have a good week, and yeah, talk to you folks next week. So, peace out, everybody.